As a project leader, one of your critical jobs is motivation. Keeping your project team motivated is a vital task, and I'm sure you've picked up a lot along the way about how to keep them motivated and how different forms of motivation will work well at different times. Sometimes you'll choose to be inspirational. You'll conjure up a great vision for what you're trying to achieve and try to move people along, seduce them with enthusiasm for what it is they're trying to do, whilst at other times you'll try to work closely with individuals, cajoling them, supporting them, guiding them, and giving them opportunities to develop themselves. In this video, I want to look at a new insight that will help you to deploy those two different approaches effectively. Some research by Stanford University assistant professor Nir Halevy put motivation into something of a new light for me. Halevy was looking at the psychological distance between two workplace colleagues. Psychological distance is about how far away we feel from one another, and it can be linked to physical distance, but it can also be linked to emotional distance, perhaps distance in terms of hierarchy, culture, or experience. Halevy's research suggests an important factor in positive motivation that I sort of knew from my experience, but I didn't know. What his research shows is that there is a correlation between the psychological distance on the one hand and the effectiveness of different forms of motivation. The greater the psychological distance, the more effective are abstract forms of motivation. Whereas if you want to be more effective when the psychological distance is close, then you need to use a more real form of motivation. So how does that affect you as a project manager? Consider 4 people on a project. We've got the client or the project sponsor. We've got you, the project manager. We've got a workstream leader and a team member working for that workstream leader. A project team member will be strongly motivated when she receives support, guidance and developmental feedback from her team leader. But she will be less motivated when that team leader tries to give an inspiring, visionary pep talk to the team. At the same time, that same team member may find a visionary talk from the project sponsor or the client to be hugely motivating. Yet, if that sponsor tried to give her individual feedback, they might find that uncomfortable and hard to take. But what about you, the project manager? Well, you're something of a bit of an in-betweener, aren't you? You're not right at the top of the hierarchy, but neither are you right at the bottom. And therefore it depends on the way that you manage your relationships. If you spend a lot of your time talking to individual team members, then they're going to find it very effective for you to give them individual guidance, support and feedback. They might find it a little surprising if you tried to give that inspiring visionary talk. And so perhaps the best thing to do would be to invite your sponsor or client in to address the team members. On the other hand, if you tend to work primarily with your team leaders and you don't speak very much with your individual team members, then avoid giving them direct feedback, avoid giving them too much support as a way of motivating them until you've built that relationship up, but you can give that more inspiring visionary talk to the whole project team. Supervision, mentoring, feedback, coaching tend to work best where the psychological distance is small and there is a relatively narrow gap in the hierarchy between colleagues. On the other hand, visionary, inspirational talks work best with a larger psychological distance between colleagues who don't spend a lot of time with one another. Of course, none of this means that you should act in any other way than with your best judgment. If your situation doesn't fit this pattern, then don't worry. But if it does, use this insight as a way to tweak your approach and to get it just right. But I do think that Halevy's research gives us a way to better focus our motivational efforts. And if that gives you better results on your project, well, that's what we're here for. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. And I'll be creating loads more great project management videos for you, so please subscribe to our channel, and why not hit the bell so you don't miss any of it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.